Join the chat. Let's start the show.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are watching or tuning in from. Welcome to another episode of the Happy Hour Show with Lindsey Vertner. I am your host, obviously Lindsey Vertner, and I am a peak potential strategist and transformational speaker for ambitious, busy female entrepreneurs. Mindset mastery is my jam. That is what I love to do, but I also love all things happy and positive, hence the Happy Hour Show. And I'm super excited for tonight's phenomenal guest. But before we introduce who she is, I need for you to grab a drink and join the chat, okay? If you are watching live right now as we speak in real time, then comment all the way live. And if you're catching the replay later on, then comment replay all day, okay? We love you whether you're live or you're catching on later on. We love you either way. You and me, we're meant to be, okay? So if you are tuning in, again, grab your drink and join the chat. Comment, love, share this video out. I know that my amazing guest is going to give some super phenomenal gems for life and definitely for business. So comment, love, share. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And let me, without further ado, introduce tonight's guest, okay? She is the amazing Dr. Ashley Little. She's the CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC. She's an award-winning serial entrepreneur, and she has so many businesses. We're going to talk about some of those. She is a TV radio host, speaker, media maven, journalist, writer, host, philanthropist, business coach, investor, 11 times best-selling author, and so much more, honey. She is a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. So any sorors out there, let us know you're here. Put your call in the comments. And she's been featured on countless publications and numerous media outlets. And so without further ado, let's welcome tonight's guest, Dr. Ashley Little. Hello.
Hi. I'm excited to be here on the Happy Hour Show.
Yay! Welcome. We are excited to have you here tonight. And so listen, I know I just gave like literally a smidget of your nice lengthy resume because you are such a phenomenal woman. But before we get into all of those things, I want you to take us back. I want you to peel back the curtains and peel back the layers and tell us, who is Ashley really? Take us back. Give us the tea, honey. Tell us.
Oh, we're going to go back to young Ashley, right?
Yes.
So I'm baby Ashley from a small town of Wadesboro, North Carolina. Little girl with big dreams, very involved. I tap dancer, ballerina. I was in different pageants. I was always involved, right? I did some acting and, throughout my childhood, and came from a great family who believed in, going, beyond, the call of duty and staying involved and believing in education and just, being the example, right? And so my childhood was a great childhood. And hey, we draft off to high school. Hey, very involved still. You got cheerleading, you got JRTC, all the great things that I was involved in as well. As well as, just being a great student. And then we drafted off to college, right? I joined Delta Sigma Theta, of course. some other organizations, founded some organizations on campus, very involved, giving back, community service. So very involved with that. Always been a person to reach back and, give back to my community. So that's been something that I learned at a young age, right? Young age. And then drifting off to now, to the adult that I am, it's been a great journey. Of course, we all have our obstacles, right? We all have our process. So we all go through different things. And so, of course, I've had my seasons, right? We all going to have them. And so the big thing about it is just not giving up and pushing through the hard days. And the hard days are what make us to the people that we are today. And so here I am now, still continuing to be the little girl that's now grown up with big dreams and making it happen, not just dreams, but executing them. And hey, here we are.
Yes, not just dreaming, but executing. That's a whole episode right there by itself. And so I noticed that you mentioned that you learned at a young age about giving back. So who are some of those childhood influences that you had in your life?
Well, I'm going to start off with my mother. Okay. My mother was one, of course. My mother, very big on giving back, giving back and volunteering in the community. So that was instilled in me at a very young age. And of course, I have a couple people that played a big part outside of my mother. Of course, my father too. But I have my mentor now who was definitely my mentor then. She's still here with us. And her name is Miss Davis. I still call her Miss Davis, but was very involved with nurturing me and making sure that I knew the importance of reaching back, right? Exposing me to, volunteer events and different ways of different community service events to be able to stay involved, and taught me the reason why philanthropy was so important, right? And being able to give to charity and, at a young age and get involved in those places and those exposure to those things. So I think a lot of things start with exposure, right? Exposure and opportunity. And so Miss Davis will be definitely someone that I still pay homage to this day, who's still a part of my life as being able to have inspired me to continue to be successful and to give back, right? Because, that servant mindset is important. If you're not giving back and helping someone else, then you're not doing anything. So.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so something else that you mentioned, well, we obviously can see it as an adult, all of your multi-passionate areas, but you mentioned you dabbled in a lot of things as a child and young adult as well. So what would you say kind of led you to identify what your purpose was, and how did you navigate that journey?
Well, I'm going to tell you, because I still, like I stated before, and I don't know if you read it in my resume or not, but I'm executive by day and serial entrepreneur by night. So I'm still doing both. But as a young age, I've always had an entrepreneur mindset. I had the Babysitter's Club. Do you remember the Babysitter's Club book? So I read that book. And I was the babysitter in the neighborhood, right? So I had a babysitter club. I did a whole sign, and I'm keeping all the neighborhood kids, and it was called the Babysitters Club. And I had my sister to join with me. I don't know if she wanted to, but hey, we did a Babysitters Club and lemonade stand, and sold the lemonade, outside in outside in the yard to all the neighbors. So I've had that entrepreneur mindset my whole life, right? So that's where I started at, Babysitters Club, the lemonade stand. And then as I continued to grow and, get into middle school and high school, I started my own tutoring business. So I was tutoring. And so I've always had the passion to definitely give back. And I always had the passion to create opportunities for others, right? And so I remember when I started my tutoring business, hey, I was tutoring kids all over the world. I had some in the neighborhood, and I had an online opportunity where I was able to, how, I don't know if you remember back in the day, you could sign up and you'll be part of a tutoring service, and then people will reach out to you from different places. So I did my profile, and I had kids from all over. So that's really how I started off. So I've always had that go-getter, I'm going to make it happen mindset and entrepreneur mindset at a very young age. So, and it just inspired me to keep going and to building my own tables, and then creating legacy was always important to me too.
I love that. And it's so funny that you mentioned Babysitters Club, because I had something called the Babysitters Club, but we weren't babysitting. So, all right, I'm about to date myself, but do you remember back when they had the credit card paper pamphlet where you actually had to fill out the form and mail it in to apply for a credit card. Yes. So whenever I would be at the store with my mom, I used to grab all of those. Well, not all of them, but I grabbed enough of them, and I changed some things around, maybe scribbled some stuff and marked up the paper, and then I passed them out to some of my friends for them to fill out to apply for my club that was called the Babysitters Club. And this was one of my mom's favorite stories, because I guess a different parent had called her and was like, what is this club? I don't mind providing snacks, but I don't think that my daughter can provide a monthly fee. I don't remember how much I was charging to be in this club, but that is still one of my mom's favorite tickle her stories.
And I've always been an avid reader, so I had all the Babysitter Club's books. I had all of their books.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. And there was something else that you mentioned about, having your support system and, always having your parents to be supportive of you and Miss Davis to be supportive of you. But unfortunately, we know that is not the reality for a lot of people out in the world. So what advice would you give to that person that is struggling right now, that maybe feels like, they didn't grow up with a support system and they still continue to feel like they don't have a support system to help them in their goals?
I would say, your past and the way you grew up doesn't determine your future, right? It doesn't determine who you're going to be. And so I would say definitely seek out mentors and coaches. Seek out mentors and coaches to help guide you. I don't care, good background, bad background. Everybody needs mentors and coaches, right? And so I have more than one. So seek out mentors and coaches that are 30 steps ahead of you that can really pour into you and really guide you and pull things out of you that you probably don't even see right now, right? Somebody who can see further than you. So I would say definitely seek out mentors and coaches. Absolutely.
That is such great advice, because we live in this day and age of YouTube University, right. and everything's at our fingertips. And unfortunately, I feel like so many people feel like, oh, well, I can just figure that out on my own, but then they can't figure out why they've reached a plateau and everything seems just out of reach. And I actually said this the other day, where how we talk about it takes a village to raise children. But heck, even when you're an adult, you need a village to help you succeed in your dreams. And so you'll only get so far consuming all of the free information. At some point, you have to make that intentional choice to invest in yourself, invest in coaches, invest in mentors and things like that. So you mentioned you have a couple. I know I usually have a couple on deck. So
you should. It's important, right?
What areas do you have your coaches and mentors in to help keep you well-rounded?
Well, I have to give a special shout out to my amazing business coach, Bro Bedford, who is also a mentor and a coach, and my business coach. So I have to give him a special shout out. And I mean, I have other coaches as well, but I know Bro Bedford's probably watching, so I'm gonna make sure I shout him out. But absolutely, having people that are 30 steps ahead of you, I make sure that I'm very intentional when I'm, seeking out mentors and coaches. They have to be 30 steps ahead of me, and they're where I want to be, right? And that they have the results that I want. And so that's so important for me. And to go back to the support system thing, I also say too, regardless, sometimes you're not going to have support. So you have to motivate yourself, right? And so if you're looking for support, then this ain't the journey for you, right? Because you're going to hurt people. Because, most of the time, it's a lonely road, okay? It's a lonely road. But it takes a strong person to be self-motivated and know that you're going to get it done regardless if they support me or not. Because everybody's not going to support you, right? And be thankful for the people that do. But don't be upset if they don't. Don't be upset if they don't. Don't let that stop you from climbing, and don't let that stop you from executing and getting it done. And so I just wanted to say that. But back to Bro Bedford, he definitely pushes me beyond and see things before I can. So definitely love to pay homage to him for all that he has done. Of course, I have many more too, but I definitely wanted to give him a shout out because I know he's probably watching. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I was trying to get your quote on there and I had muted myself. If you're looking for support, then this is the wrong journey for you. I just love that you said that because I hear that all the time, especially with new entrepreneurs, but even seasoned entrepreneurs and business owners, where they feel like nobody is supporting me and such and such and such. And I think it was just this morning or maybe yesterday morning where I had expressed to a young lady, like, listen, everybody is not going to support you and you have to be okay with receiving all the support from God. That's who matters most.
That's right. That's right. Him. He's all that matters. He is all that matters. Absolutely.
Yes. And I expressed to her, I said, some people can only support you for as high as they've taken themselves. And unfortunately, that's not very far sometimes. And then there was a quote that I saw on Instagram. I think it was Instagram. It was some picture. And Denzel Washington, I don't know if he really said it or not. I hadn't had time to research that. But the quote said something about, some people will never support you or like you because your spirit irritates their demons or something like that. And I was like, woo, ain't that the one?
Ain't that the one? You know what I learned last year? I learned last year that everybody can't go. Even the people that I wanted to take with me, they can't go because some of them either cannot see where I was going to be able to just, join, or they just was not ready to go where I was going. And so I learned that last year. And so thankful that I did. So my mentality is so different this year about that, because I'm one of those people. Yes, I'm a giver, servant, leader mindset. And I want everybody to win. I genuinely do want everybody to win because it's not going to hurt me that when my sister wins, I win. When my brother wins, I win. Right. And so, I had to learn that sometimes people just not ready to go with you, or they can't see where you're going. They can't see past where you're going, and so I learned that everybody just can't go, and be okay with that, right? My feelings used to be hurt when I'm like, well, I'm trying to take you with me, and sometimes people they're just not there yet.
Absolutely. And that is a tough obstacle to get through. But once we realize that, it makes things so much easier. And I always suggest still grieve that relationship. Because we have emotions for a reason, but be okay with letting it go and knowing that season is up. And no matter what level you're at, like, it's going to happen, whether you're just starting, whether you're at the top. Heck, I just got over it all over again. And this was somebody that I thought was going to go with me much further, as much as I encouraged and uplifted and supported her. And we hit this plateau where I realized, I don't know what's going on, but this is where you get off the bus.
Yes. We gotta get out the bus because I gotta have good energy. I gotta have, good environment around me. I have, I don't need any distractions. So if it's not healthy, then I gotta let it go. We gotta cut it off. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you are just tuning in, you are watching the Happy Hour Show with myself, Lindsey Vertner, and my very beautiful guest, Dr. Ashley Little, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, which we are going to get into what all that entails in just a little bit. But right now, I think that this would be a great time to have a little segment that I call
What's in your cup?
Yes. If you are new to the show, this is the segment where we find out exactly what's in your cup. And so our guest will share what she's sipping on over on her side of the world, and then she'll give us some cup cam, and then I will share what I'm sipping on. So whatever you're drinking at home as you are tuned into the show, put it in the comments what's in your cup. And if unfortunately you don't have a drink right now, I don't know what you were thinking, but put what you wish you were sipping on and what you wish was in your cup. So, Dr. Ashley, tell us what's in your cup.
I'm taking it light tonight. Sprite. My Sprite. Yes, that's what I'm drinking tonight in my coffee cup.
Give us some cup cam. Show us your nice
cup cam. I don't hope I don't pour it out. I think you can see it a little bit. Yeah, I hope it don't pour out. Yeah. Okay.
So in my cup, I am also along the healthy lines. Well, I don't know if it's right healthy, but
Well,
I
it's
am.
okay for tonight.
Yes. No party in my cup on tonight because I'm on a 6-week healthy type of plan that I'm doing. Y'all would be so proud of me. I have worked out for 2 weeks in a row. Oh.
The gym is so great, right? I just love going to the gym. I don't get it right all the time, but I had to get back in it today because I missed like 3 days this week. Yeah.
I've been doing at-home workouts. Yes, because going to the gym will just be another obstacle that will make me not do it. So what I have in my cup is sparkling water, but not the nasty kind because 99% of them that I have tried just taste nasty. And I don't know why y'all like these things, but there is one brand called Clear American that tastes like pop, but it's sparkling water. And so today I am drinking the pineapple coconut flavor of the sparkling water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 everything. And I am honoring my good friend SpongeBob here.
Oh, Lindsey makes my little cup look so by itself. Oh, I don't have all the little decorations of SpongeBob or anything. But
No, you went with the classic elegant mug today.
The classic elegant mug.
Mm-hmm. I don't have a party in my cup, so I had to make the cup the party. That's
party in the cup. Yeah.
So thank you for just sharing what is in your cup. And again, if you're tuning in, put in the comments what you're sipping on, what is in your cup. And meanwhile, let's get back into this amazing conversation with Dr. Ashley Little. So I know that you went to an HBCU, and on the other hand, I went to a PWI. And so for those viewers that maybe don't understand, look, get those hands off your hips. For those of you that maybe don't understand those acronyms, HBCU stands for Historically Black College and University. PWI stands for Predominantly White Institution. So yes, tell us what that was like, because I remember growing up, I had some HBCUs in like my radar, but ultimately when it came down to it, I went to the school that gave me the most money, seeing as my background and everything in a single parent household. And I didn't want to be working 50 jobs trying to pay for school. And so I went where the money resides.
Where the money resides.
Yes, pros and cons on both sides. So tell us about, what did that journey look like for you to decide to go to an HBCU over a PWI? Did you have any conflicts in making that decision? Just tell us that journey, because I know what I felt like in my decision. Share.
Wow, I'm one of those people who have the best of both worlds. I've did my bachelor's HBCU, PWI for my grad. So I have best of both worlds, but I am forever diehard. My heart is for my HBCU. And I can't really explain the experience. You just really have to experience it. But I came from a family of HBCU grads as well. And so that I, as a young girl, especially with North Carolina A&T, because my dad is an Aggie, so continuing that legacy. But I used to be on the campus at the games and, at the campus at a young age, right? But also, I got accepted to a lot of different schools, while I was applying for schools and things like that. But A&T was still number one on my list. And I think when I went to orientation, it sealed the deal, right? The family environment, the atmosphere, just being on the campus and the love that I received when I was there for orientation. And so I was just like, this is the place for me, right? Like I said, I can't explain it, but I can talk about it as much as I can. But you really have to experience at HBCU because you're not a number. You get that one-on-one attention, and your professors really want. I'm not saying other schools are not, right? I'm not saying other schools don't want you to win, but they sincerely want you to win. As professors at HBCUs, they really want you to win, and they're pushing you out of your comfort zone to be successful every day, right? And just seeing all the Black excellence on campus from all over the world, nationally and internationally, was amazing. I was just like, wow, wow, look at all of this Black excellence, okay? And it just taught me that I can walk in any room and I can own the room, right? To be confident when I'm walking in the room, to understand that never take no for an answer. Never take no for an answer. If I can't get through the front, I'm going through the back. If I can't get through the back, I'm going through the sides. And if I can't get through the side, I'm just going to build my own. How about that?
Okay.
And so it taught me to create my own seats at the table, to build my own tables, and to serve, right? To serve and to reach back, and also to help those who have poured and opened doors for you. So I'm able and I'm thankful to be in a position that helps some of my mentors now. That Dr. Judy Rashid is one of them, and I think I posted about her in some of the books that I've done with the movement. But she's definitely a lifelong mentor of mine as well, and I'm able to give back to her. She's been forward authors in all of the books. I've been able to pour into her school that she's been getting built in Africa, and so just making sure that I'm not only reaching back and pulling forward, but it's taught me to pour into the people who poured into me as well. So my HBCU experience, I mean, it's amazing. I forever give accolades and pay homage to North Carolina A&T, because I would not be the person I am today if it was not for my HBCU. So thankful that I did attend at HBCU.
I love it. I love it. As for me on the PWI end, yes, we had our Black community, but it was once again something that I grew up with, as far as, being surrounded by the white counterparts. And, I did have my moments where I was like, oh, I feel like I missed out on the experience. But again, at the moment, I had to make the decision that was going to be best for me. But I didn't have a lot of experience as far as, how I could go to an HBCU without having to pay out of pocket for everything. And so I ended up at a PWI, and it wasn't until I started entrepreneurship, because I was still at the PWI. And so we had two programs. There was the Hudson Holland Scholars, and then there was a groups program. And it was so weird, because when I very first got on campus, because I was a Black girl, everybody just automatically assumed I was in groups. Meanwhile, I had no clue what groups even was. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But let me tell you, so groups was the program that essentially got the Black kids in the college that maybe necessarily wouldn't have qualified otherwise, and lower income and things like that, or lower academic scores and things like that. Meanwhile, I'm here on an academic scholarship in a high end program. And so people automatically grouped me in the groups, and I didn't even know what that was. So I already felt that tension right there. And I'm like, what? And so apparently that's how most people had gotten into, people of color, that is, into my PWI. And it wasn't really until I was around some Black excellence in college, but it wasn't really until after college, when I started my entrepreneurship journey and started traveling a lot, that I really started to surround myself with much more Black excellence. And once I had one little taste, I was in love. And I was like, I want more. I want more.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
So, in your college experience, you also pledged a sorority.
I did.
Tell us about your decision to do that.
I am a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Hey, I mean, I can't explain it. It's just, why not? Being a part of Delta has opened up a lot of doors for me and opportunities. I mean, just the women who paved the way, they were women, our founders, that broke glass ceilings, right? And so, doing my research and just being exposed to, because in my family, I got people of many different sororities, right? And so I always knew that I wanted to be a Delta. And I mean, just doing my research and, knowing my history about Delta and the glass ceilings that they broke, the women's suffrage march, and how they our founders were just amazing leaders, right? And how they went against the stereotypes, how they broke glass ceilings. I was like, that's the one for me, right? That's the sorority for me. And so I love my sisters. I love my sorors all over the world. If you are listening, hi sorors. But Delta Sigma Theta is the only way for me. Only way. And should be the only way for anybody else.
Awesome, awesome. If you are just tuning in, you are watching the Happy Hour Show with Lindsey Vertner, that's me, and my very beautiful guest, Dr. Ashley Little, that's her. She is the CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, and I want to talk about that because we got to make sure we have plenty of time to get into all of your avenues that you have. And so we kind of touched on it a little bit about being multi-passionate as you were a young adult. And so as you grew, how did you navigate all of the different areas that you wanted to explore as a business owner? Because you said you are a serial entrepreneur. So what did that process look like for you starting out?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I've always, like I said, had the entrepreneurship mind, but I really, really went really deep, extremely into it when after going through discrimination in corporate America. And I'm still in corporate America, but I went through many seasons as a Black woman at executive level positions. And so I went through those seasons. Were those seasons easy for me? No, they were not. There was they're very difficult seasons, right? But I took those seasons and it really pushed me out into really going full force into entrepreneurship, to want to create my own legacies, continue to create my own legacy, and to continue to build generational wealth. And I wrote about, my very first book, I wrote about that, and I never had shared it with anybody, some of the challenges that I faced, being at the table, being the only woman of color at the table, right? And so I faced a lot of obstacles there, right? But I took those lemons and made lemonade with it. Was it easy during the time? No, it was not. There was some very difficult times throughout my career, but it really pushed me out. So I'm thankful for that. And I had some other things that, pushed me out to really go full force into entrepreneurship too. But that was one of the biggest ones, as far as when I really went full force into really building and really focusing on the, generational wealth and my legacy, and understanding that nobody could put me in a box. People would try to put you in a box, right? And I was just like, that's not going to happen for me, right? So I did something about it. Even when I was going through those seasons, I was doing my own thing and, working on my businesses as well while I was doing it. But it really played a major part in my decision to continue to create multiple streams of income and to also create legacy.
I love it. Create multiple streams of income and creating a legacy.
Absolutely.
We have to think about, what are people going to say about us after we have left this earth? What legacy are you leaving? And so I know one of your legacies is the Sweetheart Scholars. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so when I say reach back and pull forward, I don't just talk. I do. All right, I execute. So Sweetheart Scholars is a nonprofit that I founded. I went back to my hometown to do it because I want to start there. And as I continue to expand it out, because I believe in starting in the community that you grew up in, right? And so I'm always wanting to give back to my community. And so Sweetheart Scholars was founded to help our African American young females, whether they're high school seniors, to be able to pay for them to go to college financially for their 4 years. And so they have to go through a intense application process. GPA matters. They have to complete a packet, an interview with us. They have to, write an essay. All of that, all those things are important, right? So we're just not giving money away for free. No, you have to earn it. But it is for our African American females who are seniors, and it doesn't matter if they're going to a PWI or HBCU. So both people, whether it's a PWI or HBCU, they still can apply, right? The goal is to make sure we're reaching back to help our younger generation, right, and be able to provide provide mentorship for them and also help them financially, right? Because we don't want them to have all that debt, right? So we want to be able to help them provide ways to help them. So we are helping our scholars, sweetheart scholars, throughout their 4 years financially through college, okay? And so I've been happy to have helped 8 so far. We get ready to do some more this year. And so we've been about 3 years now doing it. So continuing to build the nonprofit and eventually expand out, but that's the goal, was to reach back and really help our young girls and really mentor them, as well as helping them throughout college as well too.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Just really giving back and showing them that there is more out there than maybe your immediate circumstances.
Absolutely.
I know that you are making a great impact with Sweetheart Scholars. And that's so important, because, sometimes we can get stuck in that rut because what we see or what we grow up around is all we know. And unless somebody shows us different, or we're willing to make ourselves uncomfortable and go out and explore for something different, then sometimes we don't know any better. And so I love that you are reaching back.
Because someone done it for me. And so I'm always about pouring back and giving and reaching back too, because I think people forget that, right? That's why it's so important to pour back and give back, because somebody did it for me. Okay, so I'm going to continue to do that for others. And I hope that the girls that I'm helping that they turn around and do it for someone else. And that's what we're teaching them, and we're mentoring them, that they return the favor, that they go do it and they help somebody else, and they pour into the next female, the next girl. Okay. So, yeah.
I love that. Is there a way that people can donate to that, or how does that work?
They can. They actually can go to my website, www.ashleylittlenterprises.com, and just, they can fill out the form and tell me they want to donate to Sweetheart Scholars, and then we'll go from there. Yeah.
Awesome. So you heard it. If you would like to support this phenomenal cause, then go to ashleylittlenterprises.com. You see it right there on your screen, and you can donate to Sweetheart Scholars. So I love it. Now, you have something else also called the HBCU Experience Movement. Tell us about that, and how did it get started?
Yeah, so the HBCU Experience Movement LLC is dear to my heart. First of all, we're the first Black-owned publishing company to publish prominent HBCU alumni stories throughout the world. So I'm very excited about the movement. It is a collection of stories from prominent HBCU alumni sharing their stories of how their university has molded them into the people they are today. I created that movement to increase HBCU enrollment and increase young alumni giving, because it's so important for us to document our stories and change the narrative about giving back, right? And it's so important. So I wanted to be the solution and be part of the change and change that narrative. So that's what I did. And so we have done about 8 books now so far with different schools throughout the world, creating partnerships and endowments. And I'm getting ready to bring out some more HBCUs in a couple months, and this spring and throughout the whole year. And so I'm excited about what we're going to do. And my goal is to touch all 107 HBCUs, and I will touch all 107. And so when I've been working with each school, we've been creating those endowments and those partnerships, and we have chancellors that are sharing their stories, and they're endorsing the books. So I'm just excited about the future for the HBCU Experience Movement. So it's very dear to my heart. I love it.
Do y'all hear this? I told y'all she was phenomenal. She definitely walks the walk that she talks, okay? She doesn't just speak and yap about it, but she does it. She executes, as you can see. So something else that you have is called Creating Your Seat at the Table. Yes. Some of your magazines right here.
Absolutely. Yes, Dr. Frazier.
Yes,
and special shout out to Dr. George Frazier. I love him. Definitely a mentor. Definitely was on my inaugural issue when I brought my magazine. And then we got my back covers as well. Dr. Talisha Johnson, Dr. Jessica Moses, some of my front covers and back covers. And Les Brown was my last front cover for 2020. He was my front cover in December. We got some more getting ready to come out. And Lindsey is part of my team. You're one of my writers. So I'm excited So yes, the magazine was definitely birthed through my actual media platform, which is Creating Your Seat at the Table show. And I interview high level entrepreneurs, business owners, celebrities, and influencers who are doing amazing things. I've interviewed Lindsey. They can really share their stories of how they did it, right? Their successes and failures, and really give my audience, strategies on how to create your seat at the table or how to build your tables, right? And these are some powerful people because I want to be able to give back to the growing entrepreneur, right? Because they might not have access to the Dr. Frasers, the Les Browns, the Lindsey Vertners, the Benny Randalls, or they might not have that type of access. So I wanted to create a platform where I could highlight amazing people internationally and nationally that everybody might not know about, but they're doing amazing things, right? And they're really breaking glass ceilings. So that's what Creating Your Seat at the Table is about. And I'm so thankful to God. He gets all the credit for how the platform has grown. And then I branched out now and I have my magazine to continue to highlight these amazing people. And they're sharing their strategies and they're really sharing how they did it. They're sharing their successes and failures. And they're really changing the narrative and really reaching back themselves by sharing their stories in the magazine. So I'm excited for what's to come as I continue to build Creating Your Seat at the Table. That's very dear to my heart because I'm all about don't wait for anybody to give you a seat. Don't ask for a seat. You build your own tables. Don't wait for anybody to do anything. Create your own opportunities.
Yes. Did y'all hear that? Don't wait for anybody to tell you or let you in. Build your own table. Create your own seat at the table. Create your whole own dining room if you want.
Create your seat at the table and then invite the people you want to connect with to your table. That's what you do.
Yes.
And you build those genuine relationships and go from there.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit, how did you start to build those relationships with maybe more high level people in the community?
Actually, I talked about this earlier, servant mindset. I always, when I'm talking to people, when I'm building relationships, it's always, how can I help you? And what are you working on? How can I help you work, to continue to advance your platform or get to that next level? How can I bring value to you, right? It's never about me. It's about serving. So that's how I'm able to build long-lasting, real, genuine relationships, right? Because it's so important that you're genuine, right? That you're genuine when you're building these relationships and you bring value and that you're a giver. Like it can't be one-sided. You should be bringing value to the next person, right? And you shouldn't want to connect with people just based off what they have. No, you should genuinely want to get to know them, right? And so I genuinely build those type of relationships, and I'm always opening, reaching back. I'm always creating tables for others. I'm always offering opportunities for others. And I'm always, collaborating with others because there's power in collaboration. Like when we all can eat, we all can win, right? Because I do believe what you make happen for others, God will make happen for you. And I'm a big believer in that, very firm believer. And so that's really how I build relationships. And I mean, a lot of them, when they start with my show, like I tell anybody, when you want to build relationships with people that you might not have access to on a normal basis, create your own platform and invite them to interview them and be genuine about it. And that's the door right there that opens. So you determine if it's going to continue to grow from there. That's your door. So you decide when you have that door, how you're going to maneuver from there. Create the opportunity and continue to nurture the relationship, right? Continue to bring value to the relationship.
Absolutely. Did y'all hear all those gems? Listen, if you missed it, go back and watch the replay after the show is over because she just gave you so many gems. With building any type of relationships, you have to come from a servant attitude. And that's what a first-class leader is all about, that servitude and wanting to build other leaders, not just boss people around. That's what a true leader is. And so if you're just tuning in, you are watching the Happy Hour Show with Lindsey Vertner and my beautiful, phenomenal guest, Dr. Ashley Little, CEO of Ashley Little Enterprises. You heard about some of the amazing things she's been doing. And right now, I think that this would be a great time to play another little game.
30-second hot shot. Answer the question in 30 seconds or less, or take your shot.
Ooh! Are you up for the challenge?
I guess. I guess.
Yes, if you are new to the show, this is 30-second hot shot where our guest is going to answer your questions in 30 seconds or less. And if she misses the buzzer, guess what that means? Shot, 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 everybody. So she's going to be taking a shot of Sprite. If you have a party in your cup, I apologize in advance. I'm going to be taking a shot of my sparkling water. You're going to take a shot of whatever it is that you are sipping on, what's in your cup at home. So let's see if she gets it. Let me grab my handy dandy timer here. All right. Timer, getting it ready. Put it on 30 seconds. So how it will work. I'm going to read the question, and then you'll have 30 seconds to answer it, okay?
Okay.
All right. So the first question is, how did you get into media? Go.
Hey, I've been in it most of my life, but I started off co-hosting on the Tammy Collins Marquee Show, and it just went from there. I started off co-hosting, and it went from there.
Awesome. You had 16 seconds left. So no shots for anyone yet. Some people are like, yes, and other people are like,
oh, she missed it, right.
Okay, so the next question is, listen, y'all are funny. I love my happy hour guests. So sometimes people submit questions before the show. That's the way that you can guarantee that your question would be asked. If you put it in the chat right now, we may get to it if there's time. So if ever you are like, I for sure want my question asked, then that's whenever you have to stay updated and submit your questions in advance. You can sign up for updates at bit.ly/happy update. Okay. So this question was submitted. And the question is, are you single? Go.
No, I'm not. I'm not single.
Sorry, viewer. Sorry. And listen, this viewer, they was ready because there was a follow-up question. And I'm going to go ahead and ask it. And you can say, you can still answer this one, but, you can relate it to your significant other.
Okay.
So this way, all the single gentlemen watching, they can know what they need to aspire to be in their lives. So the next question was, what are you looking for in a man? Go.
Well, my significant other is God-fearing. He is God-fearing, so I'm thankful that he's God-fearing. He's a leader. Got to be a leader because, hey, if I'm going to submit, he got to be a leader, right, to be able to lead me in the right way because I'm not just going to submit to anybody. I'm definitely supportive, kind, supportive and kind, and loves family because I'm all about family, right? Family is very important to me. Yeah, so those are some of the qualities, yeah.
Ooh, with 1 second to spare, right on the buzzer. So we have another question over here in the comments. Carol says, as an entrepreneur, what has been your most difficult challenge? And because there are a lot of entrepreneurs watch this show, we aren't going to use the timer for this one. And so take as long as you need to answer this question because I feel like a lot of people struggle with the difficulties of entrepreneurship.
I'm going to say this with me, and I think I spoke about it earlier. I am a giver. And so I'm one of those people, I wanted to take everybody with me. And that had its moments, right? Those are not some easy times when, you have to, as we talked about early, cut seasons off and really, in entrepreneurship, you really find out who your friends are. You really find out who's for you, right? You really find out, start a business and you'll see who's really there for you. I'm just going to say that. And so that has been, I would say, one of my most difficult challenges. And I was able to overcome them, but were they easy when it was happening? No, because I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, or is my own friend, are they really, And so I would say that would be one of them, right? And just learning that everybody can't go. And it took me a while to be able to accept that, because I am a giver and I want everybody to win. And I'm always giving. I'm going to continue to be there because I'm not going to let that stop me, right? But I also learned that, some people, as we talked before, they just can't see past the person that they had and, that they met 10 years ago, or the person that they grew up with. And, sometimes, and they're not supposed to, right? And I do believe that God will provide the tribe for you, but that would be one of mine. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just, making sure that you have the right people around you, and learning that when it's time, when people walk away, let them go. That means their time is up. I used to try to figure out why and try to, fight that process, but no, enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey on that.
I love it. I love it. And we kind of touched on that earlier about, whenever people's seasons are up in your life, being okay with letting that go. I think that's probably is one of the most common, hardest challenges for entrepreneurs to get past is, everybody's not going to go. I love that. And so an analogy that I like to use for that is everybody's been on an elevator before, right? Most people have. Yeah. And what happens whenever you are blocking the door of the elevator? Like it tries to close and it opens back up, and you can't go anywhere until you remove the block from in front of the door. And so sometimes we have these relationships that we're trying to take to the next level with us, but they're standing and blocking the door from closing. And so we can't really realize why can't we get there? Why won't you just come? And so once you release them and say, you know what, it's floor 52, time for you to step off the elevator, then we can continue to rise. And that doesn't mean that they don't rise. Yes. They just be on a different elevator. That elevator might be in a different building. But some people are meant to only be with us for 5 floors. Some people get on one floor and get off on the next floor. Other people are with us from floor 2 to floor 100. And they do make it to the end, but never feel bad whenever someone's floor has arrived and you are still going up and you have to let go of your elevator.
It's no love lost. That's what I had to learn. No love lost.
Carol says storms come sometimes to clear our paths. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so here on the Happy Hour Show, I have a signature question that I have to ask all of my guests. Okay. I am all about living a first-class life. And what that means is it's not about how much money you have, but instead it's about the quality of life that you are creating for yourself. It's about shedding away all of those masks of fear, of doubt, of living up to other people's expectations, and instead showing up boldly and confidently as who you are, flaws and all, unapologetically walking in your purpose and things of that nature. And so I have to ask you, Dr. Ashley Little, how do you intentionally create happiness in your life?
Hey, taking care of me first. Self-care is so, so important, right? How can we help others if our cup is not filled? And let me tell you, I have not always been the best at that, but going through different seasons, right? It has definitely, prepared me to definitely self-care is first. Self-care and your mental health is so, so important. So that's how I keep happiness, right? I make sure I spend time with me for at least an hour every morning, right? I give myself an hour, pray, just to get my mind together and just really, get yourself ready for the day, right? And it really makes a difference. And I work out, making time for me, because we pour into everybody else. We gotta pour into us. And like I stated before, that has not always been my answer, right? I've not always been the person that put me first, because I'm always giving and helping others. But I had to learn that your self-care is important too, because you can't continue to pour if you are not taking care of yourself. Your health is your wealth, okay? And so that's how I keep my happiness. God first, praying, keep my relationship with him, and taking care of me. And it's made a big difference in my life. Absolutely.
Love it. Self-care is not selfish, okay? So we are at the hour, and I want to thank our phenomenal guest, Dr. Ashley Little. You see her information right here on the screen. Make sure you reach out to her at ashleylittlenterprises.com. Follow her on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. And tell us about a special freebie that you have for the viewers and listeners.
I have a freebie, my ebook, How to Win in 2021 for Entrepreneurs. So definitely go to my website, say that you saw me on Lindsey's show, and I will send you the ebook because I want all of us to win. It's room for all of us at the table. This is the year of elevation, year of manifestation. Execute, execute, execute.
Absolutely. So for all of the viewers and listeners, again, if you missed it, go to ashleylittlenterprises.com, complete the form that is on the site, and make sure you mention the Happy Hour Show with Lindsey, and you will get your free ebook, How to Win in 2021 for Entrepreneurs. So do that, screenshot the screen if you need to. And again, make sure you follow our amazing guest. Here's her information one more time. Dr. Ashley, do you have any final words that you would like to share with the audience?
Hi, I would just say, hey, we are in the second month of the new year. And so I would just tell everybody that, hey, seek out, if you don't have a mentor or coach, go find one, and find one that is 30 steps ahead of you. That's where you want to be. So definitely get you some mentors and coaches to help you get to where you want to go. And also to say, I wish great success on everybody, and we all can win. Let's win together in this new year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. Again, follow her. You see the info on the screen, and here's the info for your free ebook one more time. And listen, if you want to stay updated on future episodes of the Happy Hour Show, then go to bit.ly/happy updates. That's bit.ly/happy updates so that you can stay updated on future episodes of the Happy Hour Show. And sometimes our guest gives happy hour specials, but only to the VIPs that are on the list. So you have to be subscribed to get the happy hour specials from our guests. So again, bit.ly/happy updates. And make sure you tune in next Tuesday as I interview another amazing guest, 9 p.m. Eastern. Use Google to figure out what time zone that is for you. And until then, I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
See you later.